What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Garrett Hahn. I'm so excited for today's video. As you can see from the title, we are doing a little battle of the palettes today. So we have Miss Thing right here. This is the person who copies your homework in high school. And of course, she is battling it out today against the James Charles and Morphe palette. I mean, I think we all can just identify the elephant in the room. Let's just go ahead and get that out of the way real quick. I mean, I'm just saying. Wow, now that you put them, this is the first time that I'm putting them side by side and oh my God. I'm just like down here looking at this and I'm like, who said that this was okay? You guys obviously know that I do enjoy using this palette. I do have a review on my channel, so if you guys want to know what my thoughts are on this palette, I'm gonna put like a little card up here. That way you guys can click that and go watch that video if you want to. This one, I have no idea what she is like. I have no idea what to expect. It has been a second since I have used any kind of Wet n Wild eyeshadows. Honestly, I haven't really ever been this enticed to try Wet n Wild shadows before, and maybe that was their goal and maybe they accomplished it. But anyways, that being said, if this is your first time seeing my face, hi, hello, and welcome. Thank you guys so much for spending some time out of your day to hang out with me, talk about makeup, and play around with some new products who are trying to be like other products. If you guys want to be a part of this little growing family we have over here on YouTube, I would love to have you guys. Feel free to click that subscribe button down below. And if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video, click the bell notification button to the right of the subscribe button, and that will let you in on the latest and greatest from yours truly. If y'all want to be early queens, we support that, we stand that here in 2019. We're going to be doing that in 2020 as well. So you might as well just be a part of it early while you can. But anyways, that being said, I'm really excited to play around and test out this new palette. So if you guys want to know what the tea is on the new Miss Controversial palette from Wet n Wild and how it holds up to the iconic James Charles and Morphe palette, then obviously keep on watching and let's get sick. All right, you guys, so before I dive into like the nitty gritty like details, the price breakdown, all of that stuff about the new 40 palette from Wet n Wild, I do kind of want to share my thoughts on this palette since it is like hella controversial. I am completely aware that there are brands out there who copycat like other brands. I know Bad Baby, she has like a whole line. I think it's called like Copycat Cosmetics or something, I don't know. But I know basically the idea behind that brand is to have a cheaper alternative to higher end products, and they're supposed to be like the exact same. I know in California you can go to Santee Alley, you can get knockoff designer anything, you can get makeup. I know James did a video himself on this palette that he bought from Santee Alley, and this dives so much deeper into like other brands and companies too, like cars, clothing, you name it. People are out there, it's been happening for years and years and years. But my thoughts on this specifically is Wet n Wild isn't known for being like a copycat brand, and they aren't known for doing anything like this. So I know when I saw Wet n Wild release this palette, I was like, ooh. And even some of the comments that they were making on their Twitter pages and the tweets that they were liking and just like the comments they were liking on Instagram, like it was very apparent that they went into this fully knowing what they were doing, you know what I mean? However, the only thing that I don't 100% agree with is it was an influencer collab. I'm sure James and Morphe spent so much time, money, and energy on this palette. I don't know the specs. I don't know exactly what it's like because I've never made makeup before. As we know, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a chemist. I do not make makeup. So I have no idea like what time went into, you know, creating a palette like this. Like I have literally no idea. But the thing is, I know that time went into it, and I know that it was an idea, it was a thought process, it was, you know, specific to him as a creator and an influencer, and it was his collab. And I kind of think it's a little beneath another brand to rip off of an influencer collab, and that is my only tea on that. And the thing is, like, if it was another brand who copied identically a palette from another brand, and I know this has happened before because I've seen it, we've all seen it, but I don't feel like, to me, it's as big of a deal because, again, I know that has happened before. I know that there are brands out there who do that. When you put something out there with your name on it and you're so excited and so proud of it, like, that means a lot to you, and that's something that you did, like you did that. And to kind of have a bigger brand just like copy that from you verbatim, like this is like, she copied her English essay, and she got caught, but the teacher didn't care, I will tell you that much. So real fast, I want to dive into the details on this palette. So everything I'm gonna be reading is on wetandwild.com. This is an online only exclusive, so you won't be able to buy this anywhere that Wet n Wild is sold. Just so you guys kind of have a comparison, the James Charles palette is $39. It's less money though if you use code GARE for 10% off. And the Wet n Wild 40 palette is $19.99. So basically in this palette, you are going to be getting 40 colorful shades with buttery soft mattes, rich shades, and gleaming shimmers. Formulated for ultra pigmentation, seamless blendability, and long-lasting wear, can be used wet or dry for high impact color. Gluten-free, fragrance-free, and cruelty-free, which is amazing. The packaging is actually pretty nice, I will say. I really like how, so this is almost like, I don't know, so this is more of like a cardboardy kind of like finish. This is almost like it's kind of like that soft plasticky like suede material almost. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's really, really nice to the touch. It does feel like a, you know, like a good palette that you would buy from anywhere, honestly. And then obviously you get all of the shadows here. So what I will say specifically is that the difference between this and the James Charles palette, down the middle, you get the 7 shades that are in a bigger pan size. I believe his thought process for that was, you're probably gonna be using these colors the most, so let's make a big pan out of it. As you can see on this palette, everything is the same size. And honestly, if you compare this palette to the James Charles palette, some colors are matte on this one and shimmery on this one. The green down here is a shimmer green, and then the one up here is obviously matte. And then same goes for like this blue up here and the blue down here. So there are slight differences, but I mean, come on, let's be real. The idea is practically the same. Since I already have a review up on my channel on this palette, I am going to be doing my left eye off camera using only this palette, just to save some time, because I don't want this video to be like 30 minutes. Y'all have been ruthless with me saying like I talk too much, and I know I talk too much. I know, I'm completely aware, but sometimes you can't change yourself. Also, as I'm doing this eye off camera, I'm going to be remembering exactly what shade I'm using from the James Charles palette. That way I can use exactly the same shade that is in this palette, just to kind of see if this can literally dupe this, especially with like eye looks. So I thought that kind of would be like a fun little spin to put on everything. I'm gonna be trying to use as many colors as possible. That way we can get like the full tea, the full rundown on what the tea is on period. All right, you guys, so we are back. This is the look that I came up with. Now we are going to switch over to the 40 palette from Wet n Wild. All right, so let's get into it. The first thing that I like to do, especially when I'm doing an eyeshadow look that is more on the colorful side, I like to go in with a really solid base. The one that I'm currently obsessed with is the P. Louise base. This is the Rumor 0.5 shade. This shade is a little bit lighter. I personally like to go lighter than my skin tone for colorful looks because it really helps the shadows pop. So I am just going to be placing a little bit of this on my eye, and then using my Morphe E17 brush, I am going to buff that into my eye. Now with the P. Louise base, honestly, you guys, you don't have to use that much because a little goes a long way, and the coverage is sickening. The coverage is just absolutely sickening. That is one of the main reasons why I like this product, is because it literally just cancels out all of the discoloration on your lids. If you have veiny lids, this will completely get rid of that, especially like when you put shadows on top. It is just a beautifully formulated base. So once this is all blended out, that is literally all we're gonna do. I like to use this base wet because I feel like that really, really helps bring out even more pigment to the shadows. And it honestly, like if you have a shitty shadow, the P. Louise base, I don't know what is in it. I don't know what kind of magic they mixed into that formula, but girl. So I don't know if these shadows have names. So I'm probably just gonna be like flashing them up on the screen. That way you guys know what colors I'm using as I'm doing the look. But the first shade that we are going to go in with is the yellow. Ooh, she got some kickback. With colorful shadows, I experience that all the time. So I'm not like, ooh, kickback, you know what I mean? So using a packing brush, I'm gonna start packing that on the inner corner of my eye, or not like the inner corner, but just kind of like the crease and then the inner corner. And then with this look, I did bring the yellow all the way down. So I am also going to be packing that onto my waterline as well. It's not as like uniform as like this shadow is per se. I feel like it's just like sticking really weird to my lid. Like there are some places where it's not taking the product. It's just like not wanting to stick on like right here. The next shade that I went in with was orange. The orange in this palette is a shimmer eyeshadow, so it's going to be looking a little bit different. So packing on this orange shade. Ooh. She has no pigment at all. I mean, it is pretty. Like if this went on top of something, I feel like it looks so much better. But I don't feel like it's like, I mean, as you're like packing it on, it's looking a lot better. So the orange is really pretty, but again, it is a lot different than the other side because this does have shimmer to it. So the next shadow that we're going to go in with is the red. This one is a lot darker. The one in his is a little bit more on the lighter side, and his is more kind of like a blue based, like true red. This one is a little bit on the darker side, as you guys can see. And I feel like that is something that makes James's palette a little more unique than the average like colorful eyeshadow palette, is because that red specifically is like, I personally haven't seen a red like that in a very long time or at all. Like I don't have a red like that in my collection. So now that we have the red packed onto the lid, I'm gonna be going in with the pink shade from this palette. This one's gonna be a little bit different. I feel like this pink is a little bit more purple based, so it's not gonna be that true pink. And to be quite honest, the pink from James' palette, I'm not the biggest fan of, only because I feel like it kind of just like, it sticks really weird and you can't really blend it as easy. But I'm gonna be taking that pink shade and packing it onto the outer corner of my eye. I will say that these look really, 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 really similar once you put them on the eye. And last but not least, we are going to be packing the purple onto the very outer corner of our eye. So now that we have the shadows packed onto the eye, I'm gonna be going in with like a smaller, fluffy, detailed blending brush, and we're gonna blend everything together. That way it doesn't look as crazy. But this is also going to help test the blendability of these shadows, because I know that is also another issue when it comes to colorful shadows. So I wanted to zoom you guys in real fast just to let you guys kind of know what I was talking about. So I'm experiencing the exact same thing that I was talking about with this pink shade with the purple. Right here where I packed on the shadow, where it stuck to my lid, I literally cannot like blend that out at all. And that's honestly something that drives me nuts. And like, it's, oh my Jesus. The more I blend, it's like taking away pigment as well. So you can kind of just see like this emptiness right here, and then like a harsh line that won't blend out. I'm just gonna try to blend like everything and see if like that helps. The answer is no. And I cannot even like add any more shadow without it getting like stuck. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the same colors that we did up here on my waterline, cut my crease, and then when we are back, I'm gonna add like the blues and just kind of like finish everything up. So actually, let's do the waterline together. So real fast, to finish up the waterline, I'm gonna be placing that purple that literally sucks on my lower lash line. I'm gonna place the red right here, blend the two together. I feel like with the yellow, the best technique to apply this with is just like packing motions instead of like blending. I don't know, I didn't feel like it blended out very well. Oh, and then the last thing that I did, since it's spooky season, and spooky is the black in James's palette, I did go in with a little bit of black. So I'm gonna be taking this black right here, and what I did is I buffed that into the outer corner just to deepen up everything. So I'm gonna be taking this brush, literally lightly dabbing it into that black, dusting away the excess, and then this is gonna be very telling about how this applies to right here. I'm honestly very scared. Jesus, take the wheel. Honestly, just gonna be going in like light circular motions. I personally feel like this is the best way to apply black. This one, I don't know. It's not like the black shadow that's gonna like end black shadows, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's nice, but it's like not sticking to like right here. And it's making everything look really dirty. Versus like on this side, everything looks still like vibrant after I added the black. All right, so I went ahead and I cut my crease using the P. Louise base in the Rumor Zero shade. This is just like a straight up white. Now we are going to be going in with the white shade. Now this is one of the shadows that I'm very interested to see how it's formulated, because I feel like whites are very hit or miss. Like they're either really, really good or they're really, really bad. I feel like the whites with a lot of fallout, yes, this has a lot of fallout. Typically that means it's like a really good white. So I'm gonna be using this packing brush. I'm gonna be packing that on, and oh, this white. Oh, she is that bitch. So the next shadow that I'm gonna be going in with is this one right here. This is the same like corresponding shade that I used from James's palette, and packing that on right here and just kind of like blending it into the white while still like kind of blending it into the purple, just to make sure like everything's nice and blended, obviously. So when I'm packing this onto like other colors, it's almost just getting like darker. Like, I don't know if you guys can see, but like right here, it's just like way dark. I don't know, if we're gonna be real, the lashes are gonna be covering it up, so I'm not like that pressed about it, but it is something that I'm noticing. If you guys don't wear like crazy long lashes like I do, that's something that you are gonna want to consider if you do go out and purchase this palette, is I don't feel like the colors just want to like blend together. All right, so this is kind of the look that we have going on right now. To finish it up, I'm gonna apply mascara, some falsies, get my snatched beat together, because she's looking kind of wonky right now. All right, you guys, so this is the look that I came up with using both the new Wet n Wild 40 palette and the Morphe and James Charles palette. So, mirror, mirror on the wall, which of the palettes are the fiercest of them all? Just a reminder for you guys, this side of my face is Morphe and this side is Wet n Wild. So up close on the Morphe side, I mean, this is how it's always going to be when I use this palette. Like, I feel like I know how to work with this palette really, really well, and I feel like this side looks absolutely beautiful. There is one spot that I'm kind of like, ooh, about, and it is the pink right here. The pink in the Morphe palette is really, really hard to blend and just kind of like manipulate, if that makes sense. Like once you lay it on the color, it's there, it's not moving, very similar to how the purple is on the Wet n Wild side. Moving on to the side that we're probably all the most curious about, the Wet n Wild side, there were a lot more issues that I had with this palette. I didn't really feel like the yellow blended out super well, and I feel like the yellow is also getting a little bit darker than when I did apply it. So it's not gonna be that true like punch of yellow. As much as I love the white, and I do feel like this is just kind of in general for the Wet n Wild side, I feel like the shadows are just like kind of like sinking into the creases in my eye. But on the Morphe side, I feel like everything is just a little bit more smooth and like set. And then on this side, it is a little bit more like crackly, if that makes sense. But the white, super pigmented, so beautiful. And the last thing that I absolutely just did not like was the purple just did not blend at all. And that boils down to my final thoughts on this palette. I did purchase this palette myself. I did not get it in PR. I don't even think they did PR for this palette. However, I don't honestly know how often I'm gonna be reaching for this palette, because I have this one, and I really, really enjoy this one over the Wet n Wild palette personally. Of course, I'm gonna be reaching for this one because it's the original. It works better in my opinion. However, if you guys are on a budget, if you guys are more kind of like not willing to spend a super large amount of money on makeup, I totally get it. I do feel like this is worth $19 for sure. But I will say, I feel like this is more of a beginner's palette. I feel like you have to have certain techniques with this palette like nailed down in order to like really be able to work with every single shadow in this palette, because some of them are pressed pigments. I do feel like the James Charles palette does outshine the Wet n Wild one a little bit. So that personally would be my recommendation for you guys. And that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had so much fun just kind of like battling out these two palettes, kind of seeing what would happen between the two. And lo and behold, this is what she came up with. And if at this point in the video, you aren't subscribed to my channel yet, girl, what are you doing? Feel free to click that subscribe button down below to become a member of this little family we have over here on YouTube. I would love to have you guys. If you all want to follow me around on my other social media, my username on Twitter and Instagram is @OMGIt'sGarrett. I would love to have you guys over there as well. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to be seeing all of you in my next video. Bye guys.